Mm-hmm.
Close your eyes. And she'll pull him into the fade.
All right. Chase, you feel a very interesting sensation. It's not quite the sensation that you get to go into the dream world, but it feels similar, just not quite. And after a few moments, you you go everything goes dark, and then things start to light up again, and you find yourself in this weird limbo where the areas around you is not very well defined. It's ever shifting, ever changing. There appears to be a what color is your spirit, would you say, if you were to give the spirit a color, your purpose a color,
Purpose?
Andrea?
Purple.
There is a faint purplish glow that emanates around you like a big dome, like a big giant dome around you. And Chase, while you are in this space, you can't help feel that it feels very much like the dream world. It feels very much like the dream world.
Chase starts looking around for doors. It's like, where are the doors? He turns to Andrea. Where are the doors?
Which doors? I mean, I can manipulate the fade and make you a door, but what doors are you looking for?
The doors that show us the possibilities,
You wish to
things we need
see
to resolve within ourselves.
possible fate. Come with me. And she's going to lead him over to a place where he can see the Black City, because I know that's visible in most of the fade.
Yeah, yeah, you can. So you
And
can go ahead.
I was going to say, and I'm going to gesture over to it. Is that what you saw?
It was more like towers, skyscrapers, buildings with spires on them. It looked like my city, maybe. I'm not familiar with this one. It looks a little bit more ancient.
It's very ancient.
Is that the center?
Yes.
Is that where the truth is?
That is not for us to see.
Has anyone ever tried?
That is why it is the way that it is.
Blackened?
And those who are not quite ready to go, they tainted it. It was once golden and beautiful. It looks as it does now. Because people who weren't meant to be there went without permission.
Chase looks at his own hands. So like me.
Did you go to the Golden City, Chase?
I feel like every city. When I saw the city, I believed it was me. I believed it was inside of me. I believed that it's what kept, and still does, keeps the secrets inside. I feel like at one point I must have been better than this. Must have been pure, as every child born is. But this city, the Blackened City, is within me. He turns around, he puts the city to his back, exactly at his back, and he looks into the distance, into the infinite, and he says, is that the edge? Is that where the truth is?
There is no edge. The fate is made of thought and imagination, and it is forever growing and changing, shifting.
And what happens if someone keeps on moving in that direction?
And they just keep moving.
If they're devoted enough, will they get to the edge?
I know of no such edge. Because as long as they are willing to continue on, as long as they continue to look for things, their imagination will continue and the fade will continue to stretch around them.
So there's no danger if someone devotes themselves to moving in that direction. They'll always have something else. That devotion won't turn into obsession.
It could. I believe that spirits can be tainted. Devotion's the opposite side of the coin to devotion is obsession. That is the demon that devotion might become.
Chase, when you say the word obsession and when she says the words obsession, you can't help but have it echo in your head. The obsession echoes in your head.
Chase starts to walk towards the infinite.
I walk with Chase. Why do you search for the truth?
Because the truth came to me.
What did it say?
It said that she was searching into the infinite for the truth, and that's how she found us.
Who is she?
She is Madame Vu.
Madam who? So
Madame Vu, she's the one who showed me the way. She's the one who showed me that it's darkness, ghost, and then fire. Dark was my past, ghost is my present as he looks around, and fire is my future.
speaking as one whose past was laced in oppression and slavery, I believe that once you have your freedom, your future is what you do with it. There are, of course, multiple paths, but which one you take, that is entirely up to you, should you be free to choose.
You are the fire that lights the path for the ones who cannot see, you mean?
If that is your path, sure. Listen, I am not very religious at all.
You're
I
fooling
do.
me.
I
Saying all the right things.
But I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual, Chase. I've been in the Fade enough to know that there are real spirits and there are real places and there are things that you should not mess with. And I believe that there are right paths and there are wrong paths. I just think that you need to focus on what is the right path for you and your people.
Chase looks at her pretty intently at this point. Am I your first?
First what? It's just like...
The first one to show the path.
I don't know. Possibly.
I once said something to somebody that I don't know is real or not. I feel like it was a dream. They sat across from me in a chair, and I said some stuff to them. And I made reference to paths. And you're pretty much saying exactly what I said to him. Do you believe in chance? Or do you believe that signs all mean something greater?
I believe in both. I was chosen, as all the Guardians were, by a god. But the god chose me, and chose to trust in my decisions and in my judgment. You must do the same for yourself.
Our gods do the same for us and for mine. They don't tell us what to do. They show us paths, and they let us choose them. How we get there, what we decide. They have a reason for it, I'm sure. But they don't force us down any path. They just show us the paths.
Yes.
Call them what you will, legendaries, call them gods, call them makers, call them creation itself, I'd say. The beginning of the infinite. I think that's the true creation of everything, and that's what's guiding us. There's something well beyond all of this. There's something guiding all of this.
There is. But is it your right to see what that is?
Wouldn't it be easier to just get the job done if I could?
Right isn't about what's easy.
He turns back to the center and looks upon the blackened city. He says, but if I could look deeper within myself, maybe that's the secret. Secret to the power.
What do you believe your purpose is, Chase?
I believe my purpose is to save the world. To die in fire. That's why I gave your husband that sword.
Hopefully he doesn't use it.
If he has to use it,
He will.
I'd rather know for certain he will. Good.
He would. He would not allow anyone to. He is a very good man. I think you should hear something. And she's going to touch his arm that's been all cut up and such. Mm-hmm. If you put any weight in this religious stuff, which sounds like you do, I think there is a verse of the chant. It's called Canticle of Andraste 7:12. It is the words of Andraste herself. And she said, let the blade pass through the flesh. Let my blood touch the ground. Let my cries touch their hearts. Let mine be the last sacrifice. She does not want people to sacrifice for her. She has sacrificed herself so we might not do that anymore. She has taken on the sin for you.
I will add that as Andreia is speaking the words of the chant, superimposed on top of her voice is Halaser's voice. And in that moment, while you are giving the voice of the chant, you can feel her presence. You can feel her presence. And it gives you a little bit, it gives you goosebumps. It gives you goosebumps.
Chase's body lights up in flame.
Okay.
And as because of what he saw and what he's hearing Halaser's voice. And while on fire, he says, through the fire enveloped her like a shroud. And the heat from the blaze reached across the fields. Andraste was silent and did not cry. That is why I cut myself and do not say that I'm in pain. Who is speaking right now? Who is this person of fire?
You hear the voice of my sister.
Is she your fire?
She was.
Was?
She passed.
How does she pass? Did she pass fighting? Bravely?
Yes, and she lost herself to her rage. And she was taken from us because of that.
Who is your fire now? Is she still with you? In spirit?
Yes. When you arrived, you were at her statue.
I felt its heat.
The gods are above us. Their purposes are above us. We are not meant to know what the purpose is. We are only meant to walk our path. I look to his hand. Does he have a star, Hawk?
Oh, does he have a star? No, he does not.
No, okay, I had to check.
He does not. I know some of you are thinking that, but it would not make sense for him to have a scar.
Okay. I just had to check.
Good thing to ask.
Are you searching for something?
I am simply walking the path. We'll do what we can. And that's all we can do.
I think we were meant to be here so we could walk this path together. We're not enemies.
We are not.
We're all just actors on a stage. But we're not enemies.
No. I wonder why you've come here, but I believe it is for a reason, perhaps to hear some wisdom.
Perhaps. I think it's working.
That's
and
good.
It took me having to cross a dimension, talk to a stranger, look past your appearance, because you look like a demon.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And look past all of that, because at the end of the day, the appearances, there's nothing real there. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what's inside and what drives us forward.
Yes.
Thank you, Andreia.
You're welcome. And I will take him back.
Okay. Then when you guys wake up, everybody else, I'm assuming, will have made their way to the beach, because by this point they were like, all right, we need to talk to Andreia now. So we'll assume that everybody is at the beach now, and you wake up just in time to see Chase and Andreia back from the Fade.
We're like,
actually, it was just kind of a coincidence. We just wanted to head to the beach, and they happened to be there. So.
They're there.
Chase will approach Cedric, still mildly in a trance, and he will say, while looking at his eyes, he will say, "And the legionnaires who stood guard nearby were shaken and began to whisper among themselves, 'Is she truly the servant of a god?'" And he hands out his hand for his blade. He says, "Are you a servant of the god?"
Cedric will take the blade. And he will hand him the blade like this and say, "Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and wicked and do not falter. Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of just. Blessed are the righteous, the lights within the shadow. In their blood the Maker's will is written." And then he'll hand him his sword
Thank
and
you for
say,
your watch.
"Welcome back."
Thanks for your watch.
It's my sworn duty.
See? Boswick says, I told you he was a good Templar. Never doubted him for a moment.
Really?
He nearly killed you at one point, dude. Let's not mince words here.
Yeah.
Almost.
That feels like an entire lifetime ago.
So we're not interrupting anything, are we, anymore? Because, Chase, we got more words on some plates.
I see.
So
Where are
you
these
are
plates?
collecting the Arceus plates. They're in my safe. I was explaining to them. They're in my safe back into Winter.
Oh. The Archon's like out of business now, right? Because of what Theo did.
That Archon is, yes. That Archon.
Yeah.
What did Theo do?
I've messed with his documents, changed his birth certificate, messed with his tax form.
Yeah.
Basically
Wow.
kind of
He did quite a bit.
trailed him out of existence.
Yes.
Well done.
Identity theft fraud, basically.
Hmm.
There is a new Archon. I don't want to name who the Archon is because I
Right.
want to be able to name that person later. But however, like I said, Kenna is in. Not that you guys know that, but Kenna is under the good graces of the Archon. But we'll see what happens with that.
Bostwick, you should know, your old pal the Archon got replaced. So
Replaced? Oh, please tell me that. Did you by any chance have anything to do with that, Andreia?
Theobin did it.
Theobin, you assassinated the Archon?
Sometimes, Bostwick, the pen is mightier than the sword.
It's more like a character assassination.
The best kind.
Public humiliation? Oh, that is a fate worse than death.
Exactly.
I mean, I didn't particularly care for the Archon myself, but I don't know if I would have resorted to that. I would have rather had the blade to the neck instead.
Same.
So, what difficulties can we expect over there?
Terrible things.
Well, that's cheery.
It's not like we haven't been fired at before.
True.
Have you had anyone control your body with blood magic or force you to kill your friends or bleed your brain while you're walking around?
Oh yeah.
That... Okay, that doesn't really happen where we're from.
Well, we have.
Have you ever seen a man liquefied so that another person is more powerful?
Not that,
No.
but where I'm from, someone did say they were capable of controlling other people against their own will.
That's what you get into winter. Just saying.
Okay,
Charming.
fun.
All right, Chase, I'm just going to have to trust you not to punch me this time.
No punches here.
Still
Okay.
controlled.
So what's the plan?
Yes, how are you getting back?
Like, can we just use the mirrors?
No, I mean to your world.
Oh, shit, I thought you guys were figuring that out.
Yeah, that's a good question. Looks at Bostwick, like you brought us here. Possible to go back the way we came.
I don't know. I didn't see Hoopa come out of the hoop, so I don't know.
I've seen it done with Lyrium before. Theobin, Cedric, and I might be able to do something. I don't know though.
What's lyrium?
Physical manifestation of magic.
Yes. It's where a lot of our magic is... magical energy comes from, is lyrium.
So I
Like,
imagine it's not a common substance.
No. It's also toxic for most of Thedas to be exposed to in large amounts.
It could drive you mad. And then die.
Hey!
The red
Yeah.
ones especially.
Noted.
Yeah, the red one's worse.
I may or may not have a little bit of red lyrium in my safe as well. Just for
Right, leaving it alone.
researching purposes. Research purposes.
What?
Well, I didn't.
Would
I don't
that
take
really
it
be-
out every day. I might have taken it out maybe.
It's lyrium. It can sing. It can reach people at distances.
Yes, I'm very
Red
aware
stuff.
of the dangers of red lyrium.
Is red lyrium poisonous? Because if that stuff is that stuff with the plates, would that affect it in any way?
It's
Beyond being
kinda
poisonous, it sounded
Probably.
sentient.
like
What?
It's like radioactive. That's kind of how it is.
Don't look at me like that, Andrea. I've been eating out of the garbage for a year. Maybe that should count for something.
I was a slave for 12.
Touche.
Please tell
We'll
me.
talk
at
about
least
this later.
Tell me at least that your safe was made by dwarves, right? You know, so that it's lyrium protected.
Of course, yes.
That's something.
But as long as you have the combination, you'd be able to open it with no problem.
Are the plates that were stored with it going to be tainted by it, perchance?
I would say there's a good chance of it. It grows. It spreads.
That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting to find out.
How
Interesting.
how radioactive is this stuff exactly?
Just don't expose yourself for long periods of time.
What are the side effects exactly?
You start growing
Poisonous, but
mad.
how?
Go mad.
You start seeing things, illusions, but that's after long periods of exposure. If you're within the vicinity of it for like 10 minutes, you're fine. But if you're exposed to it more than hours at a day, then
Right.
yes.
It
But
would
it can
fade in
sing
time, right?
to you. But it can sing to you. It can call to you. It can make you want to possess it.
It will ask you to take it. And
So it's like a
you'll have to resist.
symbiote of some kind.
It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous.
I got a door in the winter. We can go through that. And everything should be peachy when we get there.
Peachy.
Yeah. More or less.
Well, favors, I guess.
And just to be clear, you guys have no way to counter delirium effect?
As long as you keep it contained in a box like I do.
What about
But
barrier?
we're going into that box.
Well,
Well,
I'm
we're going into the
hoping-
safe.
yeah, I'm hoping that he has it in a separate box.
The delirium is in a box
Yeah.
within the safe. So his theory, if the
Okay.
dwarves are doing their job properly, it shouldn't contaminate anything else in the safe.
So
Was
the
the
plates
box
themselves
created
are
by
okay.
dwarves?
Yes.
That definitely was made by dwarves. I wouldn't keep a red lyrium in anything other than that. Give me a little bit of credit.
I know you kept red lyrium, but all right.
So Kenna has a door to Tevinter.
With the delirium, I should be able to make a ritual. I should be able to replicate what they did in the other side. I'll need some help though, Theo, with delirium.
So is everyone going to the Vinter or just a small group? Just out of curiosity.
I'm assuming the 5 of us would go.
Cassie's going.
Yeah, I'll go.
Mm-hmm. Same with
I don't
Jason.
know if
Who else
Kyle
is
was
going?
going. I'm assuming.
I mean, he will go. You guys have to be disguised, which I'm sure that with Tiffany's help, you probably can disguise everyone.
What about Fabian?
Fabian
Yeah,
can probably be watched over here.
I've given to clothing if y'all want. I always have to be to clothing.
What does it look like? Tell me.
Think very colorful Indian saris for the ladies.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna be so pretty. Yes.
So what I'm going to say is, in the interest of time, you guys will get disguised. You'll disguise yourselves, and you will make it a point to not pull attention towards yourselves while you are in the city of Tevinter. Had we have more time, I would have delved more into that little excursion. But because it's getting really late, I'm just going to say that you will successfully make it to Tevinter, get into the estate, open the safe, grab the contents of the safe or whatever contents you want, and bring it back without a hitch.
We are very efficient.
You're very
Yes, we are.
Also, the contents of the safe that we want to take with us, Noir will put in a psychic barrier for safety's sake.
There are actually a number of items that you will find in the safe. First of all, you will find, of course, 2 plates.
Yay!
One is the dragon plate, the Draco plate.
Yay.
Good job to everybody who figured out where the Draco plate was going to be.
Yay!
The other plate, I'm actually going to let the players choose which plate you want out of the following: Earth plate, icicle plate, sky plate, zap plate, stone plate, insect plate. Between those, earth, icicle, sky, zap, stone, insect. Which one do you want?
One moment.
If you want, we can decide that later. In addition to that, there is a box that is a protective box that contains a small thing of red lyrium. It's like yay big. It's not like, it's a yay big thing of red lyrium. In addition to another box that contains a bunch of regular blue lyrium. The last thing that you find in the safe, which is it's strange because while everything else in that safe seems to have collected dust over time, there is one item in there that looks like it was freshly placed inside the box, and it is a orange hoop. A single orange hoop.
I like insist that the red lyrium stays where it is.
Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say the exact same thing. Like, yeah.
You don't want to bring that to your world and then have it start growing. Just you don't want it.
Like I'm going to. You can have
Are
your
we taking the
creepy
blue
stuff with
lyrium?
things.
Yeah,
I
there's-
want to check that the red lyrium is still there, and then I want to take it.
You can take it if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. Is it still in there? I want to check.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. All right.
Not even the Archon himself could get into it because it's magically sealed. So,
Go dwarves.
no dwarves.
All right.
So I'll just assume that you guys bring your whatever you were going to bring back to the breach. Noir takes the hoop. Noir, you believe you know what this hoop does.
Yeah.
So we go back.
I think so.
All right. You will be able to make it back to the breach, like I said.
Molly will approach Cedric once they get back, and she'll ask Bullet to follow her.
And he does, a little more reluctantly saying who she's going to, but
And she approaches Cedric. She turns to Bullet. She says, "Bullet, apologize to the nice man for using Confuse Ray on him."
his gaze drops in like a bit of shame. Then he'll crawl over and like rear up and then wrap his wings around Cedric.
Cedric just kind of goes like the like.
Could have been worse. Could have been a Grimer.
And she will and she'll hold her hand out to Cedric and say, Are we good now?
We're good, and he'll shake her hand. Just be careful about who you use that confuse ray on.
She looks at Bullet.
He sheepishly grins and nods.
Yep, and she'll pat him and walk away.
He'll pat Cedric and then follow.
Theo can go to his lab and he will grab a few samples of elf fruit and some death root that he will give to Cassie and and Tiffany, and also like he's been with the group for a year, and obviously we've had the braces, so I'm going to assume that he's done some studies on magic and the like. So he's going to hand over the notes that he had to Cassie as well.
All right. Well, looking at the roots and the notes, obviously not too intensively at this point in time. She'll nod a little bit and then look up, I guess, down to him. Say, "Thank you. This means a lot."
It's fine. I'm happy to nurture another inquisitive mind.
And you probably have things like this already, and she'll shift her backpack down and slide the things she was given inside carefully, of course. But then take out looks like 4 sort of ping pong balls. But they're a little more translucent. They have like a swirly kind of smoke inside of them, some different colors. And she'll hand Theo one in particular and say, "Hold this near your nose and just give it a little squeeze. Tell me what you feel."
Not the oddest thing someone's asked me to do. He will do that. GM, do you want to tell me what he feels?
I actually would like to have Riz tell you what he
Okay.
feels. What does he feel, Riz?
Theo falls asleep.
Jesse!
So she'll just cast Tiffany a bit of a sideways smirk, and then crouch down and lightly shake him awake.
Oh my! I cannot take you anywhere. Any of you.
So I don't know if that sort of thing would help you, she begins telling the returning to consciousness dwarf. But if you can analyze those and make any use of them, go for it.
I think I could. Yes. And he gives a sly look over at Esbion.
Who's still sleeping?
That's
right. Powerful hypnosis.
He'll be sleeping for a while.
Out of character, what happened to the blue lyrium?
We have it, I believe.
Yeah.
The blue lyrium.
I think it's to set up the transport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ritual or whatever, yeah.
Anyone who spotted the blue lyrium would notice that it looks uncannily like evolution stones back at your place.
Oh, no.
Looks a lot like evolution stones.
That's cool.
What would Andreia be doing right now? Is she setting up, prepping the hoop or something?
Yeah, it's just probably getting ready to do the ritual.
So he would approach and kind of go up next to her and just say, are you sure about being this close to all this raw lyrium, especially in your condition?
I see your point. And she'll kind of shift aside and kind of look down at her tummy. That's a fair point. But perhaps I just dictate where the lyrium goes.
I think that's best.
Yeah. How are you
Wow,
doing?
Chase, I'm impressed. Wow, Chase. I'm like, wow. No. Anyway.
How are you doing with all of this?
With them or with you?
Well, with me, I mean, you better be doing well.
Of course.
But with them...
I was going to say that's the easiest question ever.
But with them,
Well, it started out very rough, but I'm happy that we were able to help them with whatever they're doing with those plates, and hopefully we can get them home.
I think we can. I think we can. I'm just trying to get Delirium set up in the same circles that the weird space people that we didn't actually meet did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Orlands. I don't know. Whatever. I forget what the town was called.
Yeah, I think that's right. New Orleans.
Yeah.
Everyone's shaking their head because that was the minute. I know. Yeah.
Hey, for all this started, I wouldn't have known. So
You went to New Orleans.
Yeah, they did. Anyway.
Cedric will help shift some of the lyrium.
I'll be like dictating. Like, no. Little to the left. Just
Not that
I'll
much.
volunteer to help out because she can do it from a distance really easily.
Yeah.
And plus, she also points out the Hooper ring might be like a good focus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Will I give everybody their cookies?
Yay!
Aw, thank you.
Molly will ask, "Hey, do you have any extra of that lyrium stuff?"
Me?
No.
I don't. Sorry. You can ask Andreia or Cedric. Good luck.
I saw some over at the gift shop.
Did you now?
Payne's Practical Products, I think?
Lyrium? What?
Oh, the potion?
Well, excuse me, everyone, and she's gonna go over to the shop.
Hey, what?
Not just a standard
Lyrium potions.
lyrium potion.
Gotcha.
Oh, potions.
Oh, potions.
Talk about that.
I thought he was like, let me just pick up this rock.
God damn it, Payne.
But is that not the same thing?
No, lyrium potions are watered down versions of
Yeah, they're
raw
safer.
lyrium. Yeah, a lot safer.
Molly, you're going to go over into Payne's Practical Products, and there's going to be an elderly gentleman there who's in the shop, and you do see a small tin that actually has lyrium potions in it, but behind him, in what looks to be like in a locked glass case, there seems to be about 4 pieces of blue lyrium in a glass case behind him.
Yeah, so Molly is just observing all of it, and she says, "So what would these cost me?"
Those, I'm sorry, he says, they're not actually for sale. I was given to them as gifts during one of my previous trades, and I was going to give them to the Pentavive Guardians.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't want to take that from them. So what about one of these lovely potions then?
Oh, those potions. 10 silver?
Well, I don't have any silver on me. Would you be willing to barter?
Sure, what do you have?
Well, how about some of these? And she pulls out 2 different sets of caltrops. So, these are normal ones.
Interesting.
These are toxic ones. Be careful with these.
Are they magical?
Not magical, just these are poisonous.
Well, I suppose I might be able to put them up for sale for some adventure or other. I'll say you got yourself a deal.
All right.
I'll give you 3 bottles for these 2.
All very much.
Here you go.
And just out of curiosity, I got married recently by accident.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Well, thank you. What do you think would be a nice, I don't know, wedding present for my accidental wife?
Does your wife like animals?
Well, she's very good with my Pokemon. What do you have?
Take a look at the nug pen over there, as he says, as he points in the direction. There's these little cute little nug things. Little bunny pigs. Those cute little bunny pigs. There's like 2-3 of them in this little pen. These fine nugs could use a good home.
Wow.
I'd rather that they weren't turned into stew, which is actually rather customary down here in the Deep Roads.
Oh, well, she's vegetarian, so no worry of that. So, what are these called again?
They're called nugs.
Nugs?
Do you not know what nugs are?
No, I've never seen anything like this. It's like if a tepig was crossed with a baniri or something. They're so strange.
I can't say I understand what you're talking about, so I'll just say they're cute.
They are so cute. Oh, how much for them?
These nugs, I'll let you have one for 20 silver, unless you have something else you could barter with.
Okay, well she has
A really awesome Team Rocket sword.
No.
just saying. Oh, darn. Malcolm could have finally have an actual weapon.
Remorse is staying with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So she okay. Yeah, she gets out her lighter. She actually has a lighter. I'm gonna say it's kind of like a Zippo lighter or something. She says, check this out. You just make fire right away.
Goodness, that must be magical.
It's not magical. You just, you smell that. There's some fuel in there. Very simple to use.
It's like a match, only not.
Exactly. Kind of easy, very easy to use. What do you say?
Where did you get this device?
Oh, in another dimension.
Where is this other dimension?
Oh, it's in a place where non-human things can talk, but they can understand humans, but they can't talk to humans. They can only just say their names. So this Nug right here, all he could say is Nug, 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 Nug.
I understand. You're speaking adventure. All right. See, the Guardians, they talk to me and half the things just go over my head too. So I'm just going to nod and smile and say, you have yourself a deal, ma'am. Go ahead and pick out one.
Are they different colors?
Yes, they are. So there's your classic pink one, there's a chocolate brown one, and then there is a spotted black and white one, almost like a cow, but not a cow. A spotted black and white one.
The black and white one, then.
You'll take the black and white one? Or actually, how do they go, Kenna? How does the nugs go? Yeah. Kenna would know.
Yeah, so she'll take them and she'll thank him and she'll go out.
That one's a very good one, she says. That there is trained specifically to squeak every time you say a bad word.
Oh. and she
all the time.
And she immediately tries it.
You go ahead, you start to form the word in your mouth, and it's like magic. The nug seems to know that you're about to say an explicative word, and he actually goes squeak relatively loudly when you say the bad word.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll put it to good use.
I'm sure Cassie could use something like
Yeah,
that.
I was actually gonna say, could I do something before we
Cast, kill
completely
it 2 days
transition?
later.
Sure.
Okay. Well, while Molly's there, Cassie would eventually just look to the others and say, "I'm just gonna go check on her. That's cool," and she'll leave.
Yeah.
So she'll go to the gift store too. I don't know if it's right when Molly's leaving or whatever.
Yeah, she's got the little nug in her hand.
the little nug in
got,
her hand.
she's got her lyrium potions.
She's got a new Pokemon that you've never seen before.
Yeah,
An
her-
discovered Pokemon.
Cassie's brow perks in surprise. And she'll, what the hell is that?
Oh, it's called.
You actually said squeak when you said oh. Squeak.
Oh, it's called a nug, I think. And I haven't come up with a name for it yet, but I thought it would make a lovely gift for Alicia.
Well, that's really thoughtful. Did you find anything else?
Yeah, I've got these, and she pulls out the lyrium potions.
Okay. Did she actually like offer one?
Yeah, she's gonna offer them over.
Cool. I guess you'll take it then and just kind of examine it a little bit and ask, did he say much about this?
No, not really. But we heard enough about it from them, I think.
Yeah, I suppose we did. All right. Well, I'm gonna check the store real quick too. I figure might as well before we hop back to our dimension. Meet you with the others.
Sure thing.
Cool. And she'll hand the potion back, and I guess Molly will go.
Yep.
You'll go into the shop, and now I'm just wondering, is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Yeah. She wants to see that raw lyrium stuff.
The what?
The
raw lyrium?
raw lyrium.
Well, yeah, you can mention it to the gentleman, and the gentleman will say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's not actually for sale. I'm just storing that so I can give them to the Pentavive Guardians."
Oh well, surely we can trade, right?
I don't think so. They're not for sale.
Well, why exactly are you holding on to them?
Well, she says these items are not really meant for the common person.
Well, no, of course not, but we're not exactly common people, are we? No, I spoke to some of the others earlier, and we talked about the lyrium, and here it's pretty unstable.
Well, it's yes, raw lyrium can certainly be unstable if you don't know how to use them.
Right, and see, back where we're from, we have something pretty similar, but we've been able to kind of pinpoint how we can calm it down, so to speak. I was thinking maybe it'd be worthwhile.
You're from Tevinter?
Oh, no. We're from another world entirely.
Maybe I should ask Miss Andreia about this then, if you would like to purchase this raw lyrium from me.
Well, she'll shrug. So you're free to if you want. I mean, I think she's busy setting up a ritual, but I could go get her.
Yes, if you could, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. She'll go then.
You'll find her very easily, Cassie.
Okay. Hey, Andreia, right?
Yes. Cassie. One that's slow to trust, but I like you anyway. What's up?
Well, aren't you a quick one to pass judgment? Speaking of that, though, Shopkeep and I were actually wondering about something. He seems very reluctant to let go of the lyrium that he has.
Well, it's toxic. It can mind control. It kills people very quickly after prolonged exposure. It's not really that surprising. Why?
No, of course not. But he has it in a nice box, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know what that box is. You know that he normally keeps things on those boxes that's specifically supposed to go to you guys.
Yeah, a box for me and my friends. Why?
I just mean that if such boxes exist that can properly contain the lyrium, then there's no huge harm in letting it out, is there? Of this world, I mean.
I mean, Theobin.
Pass this on to me. All right.
But I don't have to be alone.
Yes, Andrea.
Cassie here was wondering about there being no huge danger of bringing Lyrium into her world.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, they don't have lyrium in their world, but there's a danger. There always is when lyrium exposure is a risk. And while the dwarves here have adapted through, centuries of mining to create containers that can properly take care of it, they have to be reinforced regularly. So I would say that outside of the dwarven race, no one else would be equipped to handle it.
So what exactly is this process that makes it so only dwarves are capable of it?
Well, we're resistant to it. It's a biological resistance to lyrium. It can attack the nervous systems of anyone else within its proximity. Now, of course, if you're planning on putting it in some isolated vein underground, then it probably wouldn't harm anyone, but in common society it could do a lot of harm.
My thinking is just that everything, well, not everything, but many things are dangerous. And I'm sure that we share many of the same elements between your world and ours. It's not just lyrium, I assume, right?
What do you mean?
All I mean is that we have the same sort of toxic exposure with different elements where I come from. I'm not saying that lyrium is not less powerful. From the sounds of it, it is. But that's not to say that it can't be contained and that we can't learn anything from it.
No, of course not. But we have diluted forms of it in the form of lyrium potions and such at Payne's shop. And you can get the same components from that more safer. Research can certainly be done on lyrium, but the kind of work it requires tends to be difficult for those outside my race to achieve. But a lyrium potion, you could absolutely, I would say you could gather its elements quite nicely.
You could achieve the same results?
Yes, if you were able to segregate the component from the mixture.
All right, fair enough. You've convinced me.
Worthy task, I'm sure.
Don't inject yourself with it. Might have addictive qualities. Withdraw.
I should call it a potion.
I trust a scientist here won't stuff her veins full of lyrium, right?
I'll be sure to take precautions, don't worry.
Good.
All right, is there anything else that needs setting up with the ritual, or are we good to go?
Cedric left.
Okay. So you all will say your farewells, your goodbye. I'm sure that there will be I'm sure that Kyle will approach Cedric one more time to give him a proper warrior's handshake.
Aww.
He's
My
been practicing.
boyfriend need a friend.
And using the lyrium that is surrounding the fountain area, the ritual is cast. The hoop flies up into the air, once again parallel to the ground. It starts to expand into a big giant portal, and Bostwick will wave goodbye and give one more nod to Chase and say, "I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to know me, Boss, as Bostwick, my friend, but I'm hoping that Cobblestone gave you the companionship and friendship that you needed at the time."
I'll remember where we met, and every time I go back there, I'll think of you. New paths have opened.
He will nod, and a small ratata comes onto his shoulder and waves goodbye to you as well. The ratata waves goodbye.
Lux isn't going to get to say goodbye.
Andreia, I'll quickly go say goodbye to people.
Oh, sorry we didn't get time to do more stuff. Hugs her. Thank you for the outfit, though. I'm keeping it, by the way.
What'd you say?
Thank you for the outfit, though. I'm keeping it, by the way. The Tevinter disguise.
Oh yeah, go for it. I get, I kind of have, I have means. Besides, won't be fitting me much longer anyway.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
What?
I'll tell you after.
I think the last thing that I want Cassie to do is she'll just, she'll call out to Theobin again and just like hold up her hand, and she has a Pokeball, and she'll toss it over toward him. And call out, for the record, it's empty.
Just for the comedy of it, I'm just going to say that it is at this point that Esbjorn finally like approaches. He's a little groggy. He's not really like, he's not necessarily like he's just waking up, so he's a little groggy. So Theobin is going to try to catch the ball. The ball actually flies past his hand. It bounces on the ground, bounces again, and then the ball opens up. And then Esbjorn gets sucked into the Pokeball, and the ball closes up.
Yes!
It's not empty.
The ball goes shake,
Fireball!
shake.
You just lost your bear.
Click.
I grab the Pokeball and I run.
You're dead.
Theobin grabs the Pokeball and he
it
runs
runs.
off.
Yep.
Nope. Chase after. And then I kill him.
Guys!
I bring her off the void.
Nice meeting
I turn
you.
over the void and I go after him.
Nice.
I use the earth to like make Kenna stumble.
Because
Nice.
As they disappear, he goes, "These are my companions."
Fred Cedric. You have my sympathies. You've met what I have.
Yeah.
I feel like you and Lieutenant Jenny will say that in unison. These are my companions. All right, and then you guys will go into the portal, and you will go. We'll find out where in the next session. So.
Yay!
Yay! Craft.